Let's take a quick look at the simple present and the simple past for Unit 2 Grammar in North Star Blue, Level 2. First, the simple present. We use the simple present to talk about habits, routines, or facts. And so here I have a crude timeline. This is the past. And then some event happens again and again, probably happens today even, will probably happen in the future. It's a habit. It happened in the past several times. It'll continue happening in the present and future. And so we could say something like, my friend walks to school. Subject plus simple present tense, verb, and then an object clause. My friend, there's our subject, walks. Remember that S on your simple present for third person singular. And then to school. Where does he walk? He walks to school. When does he walk there? He walks there frequently, probably every day, since this is a habit. My friend walks to school. I play football. Again, this is not just a single time. We're not going to say I play football one time. We're not using this to describe a specific time, but rather that I play football generally. I've done it many times. I'll probably do it in the future many times. I, subject, play, no S because it's first person, and then football object. You're probably not going to say something like this, I wake up this morning and I eat cereal for breakfast, because these are specific times. Right? So we're not talking about specific times, but rather general trends, habits, or routines, or facts. Right? It's a fact that I play football. Sure, it's a fact that I ate cereal for breakfast, or I will eat cereal for breakfast, or it's a fact that on this day my breakfast was cereal, but this is probably not the routine. And since we are talking only about this morning, that's probably not how we're going to talk about it. So be careful with that one. Next example, subject, doesn't, don't. So we're just doing it in the negative. Base verb plus object clause, I don't smoke. That's a fact. It's also sort of a routine or a habit. It's my habit that I don't smoke. Terry doesn't have a good Wi-Fi signal in his apartment, so here's our subject. We make it negative by putting doesn't. You only need that one S. You're not going to say Terry doesn't has. If you want to remember it by thinking about the S, like you have to put on the third person singular, then you only need one of them. Here we have it with the do verb, so we don't put it on the base verb afterwards, and then here's our object clause. Mike and Linda don't have a car. Remember, these are two people, so it's a they. If we use the pronoun, we don't need to say doesn't. They don't, and then base verb have a car. To make a question, we have the do, does verb, and then our subject, and then simple present plus an object clause. Actually, I should say base verb. Base verb. Do you like music? Or does your uncle have a truck I can borrow? Again, here's that S, your uncle's third person singular. He as a pronoun, so we put our S here with the do verb, and then we keep a base verb here with a truck I can borrow. Do you like music? You're the subject, like is the verb, music is the object. Does your uncle have a truck I can borrow? Pretty straightforward. Next, we can use this with be verbs. We're not going to use a do verb with a be verb. Right? So if we're asking about an adjective clause, the attributes or qualities of a person or some sort of descriptives of a person, place, or thing, such as, is your friend a good football player? Then we can use this sentence structure. Is your friend is our subject, and then a good football player, that's our adjective clause. Are they happy people? Same thing. And these are yes-no questions. Right? The same as do, does. These are yes-no questions. If we want information questions, then we'll have our W word with be, and then the object clause. What's the homework? Where's the supermarket? Who's the person in this photo? Or, yet another one, W plus simple present plus object clause. Who has the writing assignment homework? Question mark. Right, and I'm pretty sure you're going to use this mostly with have, has. But there are certainly others that I didn't prepare right now, sorry. Okay. Same thing in your book over here, right? Look through that. What be your professional goals? So we're just looking to conjugate the be verb properly. We have a second person. Second person is always you, whether it's singular or plural, so we're going to say, what are your professional goals? Right. Blank, you get enough sleep. You should get at least 7 hours every night. Do you get enough sleep? Not you get, not is you get, not does you get, but do you get enough sleep? That's a question, yes or no. And so you guys will probably have to do this over on this side. Simple past, other book. Simple past. The most important thing to remember about it, or one of the most important things, is the irregular simple past. You guys are responsible for these. Be, was, were, begin, began, come, came, do, did, have, had, get, got, go, went, make, made, etc. And that's just memorization. There's no real trick to know which one is irregular or irregular. Most verbs are regular. You're just going to add ed to the simple present tense, or in the case where they have y, you're going to change the y to an I and add ed, but some are irregular, and that's just memorization. So we're talking about things that happened in the past where the action is finished. So here is our action, that X there. Here's the now, or the present tense. This thing happened quite some time in the past, or some length of time in the past, and it's completely finished. It's not ongoing. It's not likely to continue. It's not a habit. It's not a routine. It happened. It's finished. And so something like, Harry went to the store yesterday. It's a specific instance. Teddy gave the newspaper to Gerald. This is a one-time only thing. The action is finished. Subject plus simple past, and then an optional object or clause. We can also use a time marker plus subject, simple past, and then object clause. So for example, last night my sister and I talked on the phone for an hour. Here's our time marker, my sister and I. Let's say subject, pronoun we, and then simple past, talked on the phone for an hour. Object clause. 2 weeks ago, time marker, I got into a car accident. Got is our simple past, I is the subject. Next, grammar structure, subject plus simple present, optional object clause, and then the time marker at the end. So you can put the time marker at the beginning with the comma, or you can put it at the end without a comma. Stacy cooked dinner for her family last Tuesday. Stacy's the subject, cooked, simple past, and then dinner for her family, object clause, and then here's our time marker, last Tuesday. That's last week Tuesday, the previous Tuesday. Carrie met us in Dubai last week. Carrie's the subject, met is the simple past, that's an irregular, and then us in Dubai is the object clause. Last weekend is the time marker. Next, subject, didn't, base verb, object clause, and time marker are optional. So this is how we make a negative with the simple past. You're going to keep the base verb because you only need to put this, you only need one past tense verb. With the simple past, we use didn't instead of making the simple present into a base verb, making the simple present into a past tense not verb. It's just how we do it. Right? So I didn't come to class yesterday because I was ill. Instead of saying I come not or I came not to class yesterday, we say I didn't come to class yesterday because I was ill. Right? So that's how we make the negative with the simple past. Bob didn't write an email. Keep the base verb, make this the past tense negative. So the do verb is both past tense and negative, and you just keep the base verb for the action verb. He didn't have time. To make questions, did plus the subject, base verb. Again, we're going to make the past tense with did. We only need one past tense verb, so the active verb is going to stay base. Optional object clause and time marker. Did you pass your test, or did you pass your tests last week? Again, this is the past tense, subject, keep our base verb here. This is still past tense in the sentence. Your test object clause. And again, did he see my cat out in the street last night? Did is the past tense, he is the subject, see is our base verb, that's our active verb. This did happen in the past, but we're using did for the past tense. Then my cat out in the street is the object clause with a time marker, optional, last night. If we want to get information, again, do, did, does. Questions are yes, no questions. If we want to get information, we're going to use WH question word plus did or didn't. And then subject, base verb, and these are optional object clauses and time markers. Who did Arsenal play last Saturday? And then the answer will be not yes or no, but rather Arsenal played Liverpool or something like that. So our question word, did, this makes it the past tense, arsenal, and then our base verb here, on Saturday, optional time marker. How did you do on your exam? How did you do on your exam yesterday? Right? Question word for information. Past tense is here. You is our subject. Do, base verb. That's our base verb. And then on your exam is our object clause. Why didn't Ahmed complete his homework last night? Same thing. And finally, who plus simple past plus object clause, optional time marker. Who came to the dinner last night and who went with you to the football match? Okay, this is kind of a special case where we're going to use the simple past with the WH. Now we don't always use it with the WH like this. Here we have did with the base verb. Here we're having the simple past with no did verb, and that's because we're looking for a name of somebody. This is again, special case. Okay, so that should be a good overview and probably review of simple present and simple past. Remember, especially with simple past, your irregular verbs, remember your base verbs, only one S in the present. If you have your do, does, and then a base verb, only one S. Remember those base verbs with the did and didn't, the do and don't, and both the simple and past. And then try to remember also that we're talking about habits with the simple present.